I'm so happy to have you here to check out the card that I made for the April 2022 Karen Burniston Designer Challenge. This month our challenge is flowers. I've used plenty of flowers on this card, both in the paper and the decorations. I used the cake pop-up die set to create this card, but I didn't bake a cake. I used the bottom layer of the cake pop-up to create this fun and whimsical Easter basket. On the inside of this card, I've added a cheerful spring greeting. The basket is loaded with colorful spring flowers. And I also see somebody else hiding in there. I think that's the Easter Bunny. I definitely think I've met the challenge with this festive card. It's loaded with lots of details, and it turned out exactly as I imagined it, which doesn't happen all the time. I invite you to stick around to see exactly how I made this. So let's get started.
To make this card, we're going to use only the largest section of the cake pop-up die set. As I was looking through the dies earlier, I noticed that there are other sizes in there. Wouldn't a smaller one be cute as well? Anyway, I've cut them out. I've cut that piece out twice. I found all the crease marks, with the exception of this centerpiece. It has a crease mark, but it's not in line with the other ones. So what I've done is taken a piece of Scotch tape, put it across here, and folded everything up so that the crease lines are all straight across. Now I want to add a custom piece. And if you want to make this card later, don't worry about the measurements at this point. I've listed them all at the end of the video, so you can take a screenshot, or you can just simply stop the video and write all the measurements down. It will be on my blog as well, so you can certainly visit me there, and it is listed below. So I want to take this piece, which is going to hold my center pop-up piece, and I want to glue it to the base. And I'm going to add a lot of glue. I like pretty much a lot of glue because I don't like my stuff coming apart. Unfortunately, that's a good thing, unless you make a mistake. Then you want it to come apart, and doggone it, it won't. Okay, I'm going to put this piece there so that when the cake folds up, this is going to pop up out of the center. It's going to hold our decorations. Okay, now I want to take this piece, I'm going to turn it this way. I'm going to add a liberal amount of glue, and I'm going to glue them together. Match them up as good as you can, and I like glue because, as you can see, you can slide it around a little bit till you get the exact placement that you want. Alright, next we're going to turn it back around the other way. I'm going to flatten it out, let my glue set just a minute longer, and then I'm going to close up the sides. There's a little tab on the end, so what I'm going to do is put some glue on there, close this end up, and doing the same exact thing on the other end. Okay, so now what we want to do, or what I want to do, is push this down all the way through the bottom so that it looks this way. This is the top part, so when it pops up, it's going to come up like this, right through the die set. I've experimented a few times with this, and if you've ever watched any of my videos before, you know I always make an ugly prototype out of scrap paper, and I did that here so that I knew how it would work and get the measurements for the custom pieces. But the other part of that that's good about making a prototype is I glued it incorrectly, so it gave me a chance to rethink that one. Didn't want to do that again. Okay, so my pieces are all assembled, and it's going to push up and down just like this when the card is in action. So I'm going to bring in my base. I'm going to line up the center as closely as I can, and then what I'm going to do is get it as close to the center as I can. I'm not going to be on that crease line, but right next to it. and I'm centered pretty well, and I'm going to tape it down into the center of the card. Just like that. Now you don't want to get your Scotch tape exceeding the sides of the cake or basket, excuse me, because you'll have stray adhesive and that's not something that you want. Okay, it's attached here. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to attach it on the other side. Okay, now it's attached to the center, and the reason I put the tape on there is so that this center doesn't pop up when you close the card. You want the flowers and the critters to actually go downward into the basket. So that's all good. So I'm going to fold it back up. I'm going to lay it on this side. And now I want to add the T-bars. And the way I did it was I figured out, which I made all of mine going the same way. So I have the front of this paper facing this way. So I have this T facing this way also. And I lined it up with the top edge of here. And then I know it's really hard for you to see on here, but this allows it to move up and down. If you put it right in the crease or right in that hole, when you close the card, it's not going to close correctly because it won't push down into there. So you want to give it a little space. So I lined it up just at the top, and then I folded this up with the crease to match the crease line, which is right here. Just like this. So I folded it up so it'll fold into the inside of the card, and then you want to open it back up. And we're going to put glue on this tab. Whoops, little stray glue, let's get rid of that. And then you're going to put glue on this tab on the front. That's why you want to open it back up. And then you're going to bring the card closed and you're going to attach to that glue. We'll give that a minute and then we'll open it up and we'll do the other side. Okay, now the glue is on the underside of that, so we're going to do the exact same thing on this side. I'm going to put the T through the hole right here. I'm going to line it up kind of with the top of this piece right here, and I'm going to fold it back down, and then I'm going to fold this up to this crease line, just like that, so it's at the same level when it's open. I know that's very hard to see, but if you visit me on my blog, I'll have a better photo of that. Now you're going to open that back up. You put glue on the top of the tabs. Whoops. I want to make sure I don't get it past that crease. Okay, there we go. And now I'm going to close the lid onto that exposed glue. Okay, I've been patiently waiting for glue to dry, and if you ask anyone that knows me, they will tell you that patience is not one of my strong suits. But let's take a look and see what we have. Alright, looks beautiful. We have our platform with our tabs sticking up to add our embellishments just where we want them. Okay, so next we're going to construct the basket. And I'm going to set this aside for just a second while I talk about that. I decided that the basket needed to be 1.5 inches tall, so I cut a strip, actually 2 strips, 1.5 inches tall by 4 7/8 inches long, and it is scored at 1.5, 3, and 4 3/8. Now, I came to these measurements just by experimentation. So trust me, I've done the math for you. So what we're going to do is add the tabs, cut a little tab down on the ends of each one. So we're going to put the tabs together. I'll just quickly do this one because I have one already pre-made. So we're going to glue it all together, just like that. So we have our little baskets, and it's going to fit down over the top of the basket that we already made. Now I've pre-made my basket, and I had a basket weave stamp that I stamped it with. So I had coordinating paper, pink, got the basket weave, got the 6 sides, did the math. So what I'm going to do is slide it on over this. So it just takes a little bit of wiggling, and it'll slide right on, just like that. Now, I'm only going to put a little glue here and here to hold it on to that. That way it's still flexible and it can move independently. So I'm just going to lift it up a little bit on the front. Put some glue right down here near the bottom, just on that one center panel. I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. All right, there we go. Now, when you fold up the card, when the glue sets, when you fold up the card, you can see that they move a little differently than each other. So you don't want to be gluing them in here, just here and here, which is what I've just done. So once again, we have to wait for a minute for glue to dry. And while we're waiting for that to happen, I'm going to show you my little decorative panels that I've made already. There's the center one. He's got the little bunny with the Easter basket. He's just adorable. Then I got panels with flowers, one for the back and this one for the front. So I'm going to go ahead and put those on right now. Once again, you don't want to put it right down on the bottom of the basket where you made the original platform, because you want it to be able to fold in. Okay, looks like we're good to go. I'm going to test it between each one just to make sure. Okay, everything is looking good. Last decorative panel to go on right here. I'm going to put this one right on the front tab. There we go. Okay, now you can see that he's going to be cute. Little Easter bunny. Folds up really nicely. Okay, so now the next part is the handle for the basket. And I made mine a 1/2 inch wide, and I edged it with a little bit of ink to match the basket. I'm going to add it right back here. These are the 2 center points right here of the card, but this is going to be a little bit tricky. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the handle. I'm going to glue that right there, right, because this is the center of the basket and this is behind that. I've tried it a couple different ways and I found out that this way works the best. So I'm going to put some glue on the inside over here, and then I'm just going to bend it across. I'm going to hold it over here while I bend it across, just like this. Now, I have to be patient for a little bit longer because I have to hold on to this till the glue sets up. Okay, I'm waiting for the glue on the handles to dry, but while I'm doing that, I thought we would just add this little greeting. I'm going to put it right here in the corner of the card. So I'm going to do that while we're waiting for glue to dry. Okay, our card is finished now, and when you close it up, unfortunately, there has to be a small crease in the handle of the basket, but it can't be avoided if you want to mail this card. I've already made the front of this card by using the hello and a little bit of the paper from the inside and some red and white twine. So I'm just going to add some adhesive to the back of this panel, and we're going to add it to the card.
The front has been added, and now this card is complete. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed seeing another way to use a die that you may already have in your collection. Don't forget to stick around for the end of the video where I'm sharing all the measurements for the special pieces that I added to this project. Until next time, bye-bye.